Hello, Internet. It is I, Malik Aaron Aaron, and welcome back to my spring 2020 box office predictions. As I said in my last video, I got three movies to talk about before I officially put my box office prediction video series in indefinite hiatus. This is the second out of the three. As you see on the screen, that movie is the very controversial film The Hunt. So, can't wait to talk about this. So, as usual, we're going to be going over the pros and cons for The Hunt. So, let's get to it. And actually, before we get to the pros and cons, I think it'd be best for me to give some context as to why this movie is so controversial. So, I'll explain why. So, last year, a trailer for this movie dropped, right? And when people saw the trailer, there was some very negative. People had some very negative reactions to it due to the premise of the movie. And what a lot of people saw, the general premise, was that this movie had liberal elites hunting deplorables. That's what they said in the trailer. And if you don't know what that word means, it's a word that Hillary Clinton used um, to label Donald Trump supporters. So yeah, this is basically a liberals versus conservatives movie. That's what a lot of people interpreted this film as. So a lot of people got mad, very mad. Uh, there was like reports that test screenings went terrible, although Universal has said, "Oh, that's not true at all." But still, people were talking about this movie in a very negative light. Even Donald Trump himself talked about it. So it was getting some news, and then there were two mass shootings that happened back in August, and after that, um, Universal decided to delay the movie indefinitely. It was supposed to come out September 27th. It got moved out of that, and it was just up in the air for the longest time until a month ago, where it was officially put back on the schedule for March 13th. And so here we are. Yeah, that's why this movie has such a controversial stigma around it. So there's that. So pros and cons. Pros. Well, the movie comes out March 13th. And March 13th is a Friday, so you know what that means. That's right. It's Friday the 13th, the easiest day for a horror movie to make money. Like, it's the equivalent of Valentine's Day for romantic movies. Like, it's nearly impossible to go wrong on a day like this. I mean, granted, Black Christmas opened on Friday the 13th in December, and that bombed horribly. So it's not always a guarantee. But most of the time, Friday the 13th is, a major plus for a horror movie. So, yeah, I'd say that's a pro. That's one pro for this movie. The second pro is that, maybe. Well, actually, this could be a pro or a con if you think about it. But yeah, I think the controversial nature of this movie has some can have both positive and negative effects. Like, the positive effect is that there are plenty of controversial movies in the past, like Passion of the Christ, Wolf of Wall Street, Joker, and some others, where, the conversation around them, like controversy created cash. Like, the more people talked about it, the more people were interested in it, and the more people ended up seeing the movie. That's what happened with the three movies I just listed, and probably some others. Oh, Borat. Can't forget about that. That was also super controversial. Made a ton of money. So, being controversial is not a death sentence when it comes to a movie. Well, not all the time. But then there are the times where it is a death sentence. Anyone remember First Man from 2018? The whole controversy about the American flag? Yeah, that movie tanked. Despite all this Oscar talk, getting all these great reviews, it still bombed because everyone talked about the flag part, and nobody talked about the movie itself. So there was that. And there are many times in history where more people end up talking about a movie than actually seeing the movie. Like, anyone remember the movie All the Money in the World? The only reason why anyone talked about that movie was because Kevin Spacey was in it, and when the whole Me Too movement went down with him, he was cut out of the movie, and he was replaced by Christopher Plummer, and they had to reshoot all of his scenes with Christopher Plummer mere weeks before the movie came out. Like, that was the only thing anybody talked about when it came to that movie, and when it came out, no one saw it. So, yeah, like, being controversial, yeah, there's two different sides. You can either be the, oh, controversy creates cash, or more people are going to talk about my movie than actually pay to see the movie. That's the two sides. And I have a feeling the hunt's going to fall on the latter side, if you ask me. So, yeah, there's that. Trying to think of another pro. I don't think there's too many other pros with this movie. So, yeah, cons. The cast isn't very strong. I mean, there's some recognizable names in here. I mean, there's Hilary Swank, Emma Roberts. There's that dude Ike Barinholtz. I know he was in Blockers a couple of years ago. He's very recognizable. Uh, uh, what else? I mean, I guess, technically this movie is a satire, and satire doesn't really do well box office wise because a lot of people just don't get the joke. Like, you're not supposed to take this movie seriously at all. I hope people realize that. Like, this is just a movie. This is not something of real importance. I hope that's what I'm hoping for when it comes to this movie. No one takes it too seriously and then something stupid happens. So there's that. And, Jason Blum, his track record, he's had some hits and he's had some bombs. He's had plenty of those this year alone. He had a bomb that was Fantasy Island, and he had a hit that was The Invisible Man. So it could go either way when it comes to him. So, yeah. Overall, opening weekend, I'm going to say 10 million as well. Yeah, 10 million, about on par with Bloodshot. Maybe a bit lower than that, depending on what happens with this whole coronavirus thing. Oh, yeah, I gotta mention again, coronavirus. Movies getting canceled left and right. I have a feeling this movie's not going to last in theaters too long. It's probably going to go on streaming very soon if theaters shut down, where it'll probably make more money there anyway. So, just saying. So, yeah, overall, I'll probably reach like 20, 25 million if it makes it that far. But this movie's probably very inexpensive. How much did it cost? 14 million. So even if it doesn't make a whole lot, it's not going to lose a whole lot of money either. So, yeah. That's The Hunt. And the final movie we're going to talk about is I Still Believe. And then that is it for box office predictions. I hate that it had to end like this, but what can I do? Real life got in the way. So, yeah, just things happen. That's just how it is. So yeah, make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, share, the drill. You want to check out some of my past predictions? I got winter 2020, holiday 2019, fall 2019, summer 2019. I got the few from spring 2020. If you want to check out, got my box office recap videos you can check out. Most are from 2019 and 2 from 2020. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out.